Namaste and welcome to this new podcast. Uh, I am very privileged to have the company of Mr. Yogesh Mathuria, and he's a friend of Hemant who's been doing this. Yeah.
Sir, a small request. I'm normally called as Vishwamitra Yogesh. I have dropped my surname many years back.
Okay. Can I retain this? What we just
Yes.
spoke.
Yeah.
He
Vishwamitra Yogesh.
he is also known as Vishwamitra Yogesh. Uh, Wonderful. All of us should be Vishwamitras, I think.
Thank you, sir.
It's a good example that you're setting, sir. Uh, okay, the background I have is that he's a person who walked more than 12,000 kilometers for world peace, and he's traversed across states of India and outside India as well. And he survived a heart attack at some point of time, but that has not dampened his spirit. And I am really honored to have you with me today, Yogesh ji. Welcome to this podcast.
Thank you, sir.
Again. My first question, when I told a friend of mine that I had this honor, he said, how does walking help world peace? So let us start there because even I did not. I said this is just a one person's reminder of what we should be doing. Perhaps it is that, but you can throw light on why walk and how does it help the problems that the world is facing.
Sure, sir. As a matter of fact, let me give you context and background. Two friends had come to my home when I was just 9 years of age, and they had walked from Delhi to USA, a walk of 10,000 plus kilometers over 27 years. 27 months. And they had come to promote their book called Bina Paise Dunia Ka Paidal Safar. Yes, it was walk, but without any money in the pocket across so many countries. So the context and background was they walked to put seeds of love and peace, inspired by Bhagavad Gita, that putting seeds, putting effort is in my hand. Whether that will result today, tomorrow, after 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, it is not my lookout. So the seed for walk was put in my consciousness when I was 9 years of age in 1966. And I met these two gentlemen once again in 2013. And like a Hindi film flashback, everything ran through my memory. And I asked Satish Kumar, the guy I personally met him after a gap of 47 years, and asked him, sir, what can I do in today's context? He said, Yogesh, the tool is same. India is an amazing country, but yes, India has challenge with all the neighboring countries. So can you walk with message of love, peace and harmony in all the neighboring countries? And that's how my first walk started. And I believed in those days that walking without money in 60s was like part of our value system and culture. But in today's context, you cannot step out of your home without money. But my other master, who is head of Gandhi Ashram in Ahmedabad, told him that Yogesh, I would urge to walk without money. And sir, I was shattered like, because it was not fitting into my present consciousness. And I at a point even lied something and then delayed and postponed and dilly-dally with my walk. But anyway, cutting long story short, in April 2013, I walked from Bombay. I used to stay in Bombay those days. First time ever in my life, I walked alone with two pair of clothes in my backpack from Bombay to Ahmedabad Gandhi Ashram. And it took me 19 days to reach 630 kilometers. And those 19 days changed my life once for all completely. I never thought of money in any of my other walks. And when you walk without money, you connect to local people, share your purpose, and engage with them. If you go with money, you may stay in hotel and all that. That your walk will not be noticed by anyone. So this is where you engage with schools, colleges, social organizations, Rotary, Lions, even Gram Panchayat, and talk with people. And every meeting while I walk starts with all religion prayer. It starts with a prayer of Hinduism, followed by Islam, followed by Sikhism, followed by Jainism, Yahudi, Buddhism, and Christianity. So this is where I put seeds of love wherever I walk and whoever I meet. And sir, just to sum up, in last 10 years, I have walked over 753 days, all without any personal money, across 8 countries and 80% of India, covering 21,000 kilometers, which is more than half of the world circumference. And the satisfaction of connecting variety of people. Like I said earlier, that walking without money in today's context was not fitting into my belief system. Similarly, I always thought that Atithi Devo Bhava is part of Indian value system. But I have walked into countries like Iran, Armenia, UAE, South Africa, which are far off countries, but there also a humanity exists in some form. And people go out of the way to support your good work. So I believe that connecting with humanity is my religion. And that comes in variety of beliefs, in variety of forms. But that's been a real satisfying phase of my life journey. Last 10 years has changed my life from a mad IT professional to a loving, caring, compassionate human being is the message I carry.
Okay. Uh, what a fascinating journey you've spoken about in hardly 2 minutes, I would think. I could almost imagine the outpouring of love and connectedness people feel with you. But in today's context, even more so, I find it fascinating that you started with going to the Gandhi Ashram. He was one guy who's inspired all of us, and well, he could walk. Even the videos that we saw as a kid, he could walk faster than all the other people walking with him. He walked with a purpose, and he stands as a symbol of uh, strength and vulnerability, if I were to call it that. Uh, how and why did you choose to go to Gandhi Ashram first? Can you share your thoughts on that?
Sure, sure. As I said, both my masters, Satish Kumar and E.P. Menon, had walked in 1962 to 64, inspired by Gandhi, to
Oh,
bring the world four nuclear power those days, US, UK, Russia, and France, not to use nuclear weapons anymore after the disasters in Second World War on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So when I asked him that I should, what I should do in today's context for world peace, and he recommended to talk and connect to neighboring countries and put seeds of love. So in that journey, I thought best way is to take
Yeah, the best way to take.
Gandhi Ashram, Jayesh Bhai Patel, and I called him up and told him that I'm going to walk for world peace, and my pilot going to be walking from Mumbai to Sabarmati Ashram and seeking Bapu's blessings. And he welcomed. He says, "Yogesh, great initiative, and I fully support you." But before I could start my walk, he called up and said, "Yogesh, can you walk without money?" And that created lots of ripples in my mind and heart. But after all, he insisted and supported me and promised me, "Yogesh, in case of any eventuality, my phone will be on for 24 by 7, and I'll get you support in just 1 hour." And that gave me confidence. And I said, if this is what you want to do it, there'll be much more larger challenges. But when Jayesh Bhai is saying, "Yogesh, you leave and universe will take care of all your needs." And I had my own doubts, who will feed me? Even in those days, even if you want to buy a water bottle, will cost you 20 rupees. And I had come back from USA, new from a corporate life background. So even water used to be, you know, valued in terms of money for me. So there were a lot of ifs and buts in my mind. But at some point, trusting the universe was really appealing me. And I said, let's jump into it. What will happen? If something happens, JS has promised 1 hour gap, and I'm sure he will honor his word. Just keeping that word in mind, and I jumped onto. I remember I left on 29th of March 2013, and you are in Bombay, you understand what level of heat by the time comes on Bombay Ahmedabad road in about 38, 39 degrees to walk first time alone. But those 19 days was, I can say, life transforming days for me. I met some amazing people. Unknown people will come from some somewhere and offer support. And I like to share one example, which is really has stamped in my heart. My first stop was in Vasai, factory of my brother-in-law. And he says, "Yogesh, ये सब drama छोड़ो. We are Gujarati Baniya people. So we are supposed to be earning, focusing on that." Gandhi was a mad guy. But his words of saying Gandhi was a mad guy touched me more. He pursued me a lot that, "Yogesh, ये सब बंद करो. Let's go back home tonight." I said, "नहीं दिवेश, please let me give a try. I'm also not sure, but I'm going to give one try." He threw two newspapers near me and said, "Read this." And the story in the newspaper was saying Manor, which is about 100 kilometers from Mumbai, had variety of robbery on the road. People will put some obstacles when the car passes through, and moment the car is stopped, multiple guys will come and rob the passengers and the car. And he has shown me two, three newspapers. He says, "Yogesh, this is the risk you are carrying." I said, "Divesh bhai, I'm walking anyway without money. The risk for me is only my mobile, but I have some inner confidence that I will sail through this. So please, please, please don't stop me." I mean, after a point, he gave up, and I started walking further. And I remember precisely on the fourth day in the afternoon, I was passing through that road. almost 38, 39-degree temperature. I was sweating crazily and I was walking. I was alone walking on that road. Cars will zoom past through you, but no single soul walking like you. Suddenly, a guy appeared from bushes, holding big stick in his hand, and with support of stick, he was walking, and he catched me and started. I said, Ahmedabad. He said, are you mad? You know Ahmedabad kitna dur hai? I said, yeah, 630 kilometers from Mumbai. So are you going to walk? I said, yes. Then he asked me, he got more curious to ask me questions and all, why you are walking and who inspired you and all variety of questions. And we kept on walking together and talking, chatting for about 20 minutes. After about 20 minutes, sir, miracle happened. That guy said, stop. And my brother-in-law's word came to my mind. He had stick in his hand, so maybe he will attack me. But the way divine design was unfolding, he straight away dropped his stick and bowed down onto my feet and said, sir, I have come to rob you. I'm a poor farmer. In this area, last 4 years, there is no water and nobody bothers. I have three children
Wonderful.
at home. I have three children at home. Because no water, my land is of no use. So every time there is need, I do some robbing here. So looking at you walking alone, I had come to rob you. But sir, listening to your story that you are walking for peace, you're walking for peace which is going to impact each one of us, I simply bow to you and I'm sorry. And started crying. I said, Dost, you have not beaten me. That itself is a big blessing. So relax and let me go forward. He said, नहीं सर, आप गरीब आदमी का मजाक कर रहे हो. आप इतना काम करते हो वो तो मैं नहीं कर सकता हूँ. मुझे आपको कुछ मदद करनी है. तो like normal human ego perceives that ये भिखारी आदमी मुझे क्या मदद करे. And I told him, tell me how you want to do it. He said, sir, can I give you some money? And I was like, Zap, a person who has come to rob me, he's saying I want to give you some money. So I said, okay, tell me how much. He says, I don't know. I'll take out my purse. I said, okay. And I could see he took out his purse from his pocket. And he had 100 rupee note in that. And to my shock and surprise, he gave me 100 rupees. And before I could react, in flash of second, he vanished back into bushes. And I started thinking, this is a divine blessing.
Yeah.
Typically, we so-called learned people, when you want to help somebody, and if I have 100 rupee, I'll give 10 rupee, 20 rupee, but I'll never
Yeah.
give 100 rupees free because I also look at my own interest. But this unpad gawar kisan admi, when he realized I'm trying to do something good for society, his heart melted and he gave me 100 rupees fully. And before I could react, so the word came from my mouth, जो आदमी लूटने आया था, खुद को लुटा के चला गया. So this
Barabar.
incident, like this, in a way, because I walked all the time without any money, all 753 days of my walk have different stories. But this is one of the walk where a guy who had come to rob me, he gave whatever he had and just vanished. And I treated this as a divine blessing.
Yeah.
And but our walk is on.
Wonderful. Uh, Of all the episodes, this is the first episode where I have tears in my eyes. I think the honesty of that guy and the humanity of this entire exchange that you mentioned is so touching and so wonderful given the times and the media that one reads today. Uh, Fortunately or unfortunately, the world has become even more polarized today, even compared to 2017. I wish I could say otherwise, but it is not true. Uh, for want of any reason, people are fighting for religion, for money, for sustenance, for land, for and from individual level to the world level, there are enough conflicts happening everywhere. Uh, your attempt is so weak in comparison. If I were to call it weak, how do you find strength in this weakness? How do you convince yourself that even today, because the article I read about you, which was sent to me as reference, said that you're planning to walk even more and cover a lot more ground, and you are not done yet, which is a good sign considering जो लोग वायलेंट है वो तो नहीं छोड़ रहे, तो जो लोग पीसफुल है वो क्यों छोड़े अपना काम. But how do you keep yourself motivated, and what is the actual message that your attempt is giving, besides the fact that you are saying that you're working for peace? If you could talk about somebody, like you spoke about your brother-in-law, you spoke about this robber, somebody who was against you, but then saw the fact you make sense. Have you met people like that who are saying nothing happens, ये चल के क्या होता है और बाकी दुनिया तो वैसी ही है, and the world is fighting each other. एक विश्वामित्र योगेश होके क्या होगा? तो आपका क्या जवाब है?
So I'll share. Best thing is to answer through my actual experience.
जी जी.
So I'll share a specific experience when I walked in South Africa.
जी.
As you may be aware, South Africa is declared to be a very unsafe country
Yeah.
because of poverty is a big issue there.
Yeah.
So in 2018, that was my first walk after my heart attack in 2017. So my family was very upset. He says, Yogesh, you are a mad guy. All doctors are saying, no, you are not listening to doctor. And my younger daughter, who was just 17 at that time, said, Daddy, you are crazy guy. What you gain out of this walk? तो मेरे मुंह से निकल गया. And I hope you remember those time TV ad, मेलडी खाओ खुद जान जाओ.
Sorry.
I'll repeat.
हाँ.
मेलडी खाओ खुद जान जाओ. There used to be a
हाँ.
toffee where somebody says वो खट्टा है, somebody says वो मीठा है, somebody says खट्टा मीठा है. But till you
हाँ.
eat, you don't know what it is. So my
बराबर.
daughter said, Daddy, are you challenging me? I said, नहीं बेटा. Some of these things is to be felt yourself. It is difficult to put in words. So she says, Yogesh, Daddy, can you get my ticket also done? I want to come and walk with you and see what really makes you so much commitment on this. And a girl of 17 years of age was so much keen to join me. So initially I thought, it was more out of my love and care. I didn't really bother to book her ticket and all. But after 1 month, I could see she's practicing walk and she was very keen to come. Then I talked to my sponsors and I told him this is the situation. So he also sponsored her ticket. And she came and she joined walk in between, not the full walk. The day she joined, we were staying with Gandhiji's granddaughter's home in Durban. And she had organized to pick her up from airport to the place we were staying. So she said, Yogesh bhai, you are mad. When Bapu had walked, the situation in Africa was different. But it is not safe in this country for a young girl to walk. So I said, "Beta, देखो दादी क्या बोल रही है?" So she says, "Daddy, in that case, book my return ticket. I'll go back home because I don't want to unnecessary burden on anybody here and be in Africa doing nothing." But she came with such a forceful her commitment for work. Even Elaben Gandhi's granddaughter said, "Beta jao, I'll do daily prayer for you and nothing will happen." And very next day, it was our first day of walk. We were walking just outskirts of Durban city. And one young girl came and she was carrying banner of our walk route. So some young girl, maybe of 15, 16, stopped her. And invariably people used to stop her to read our banner. So we said, "It's okay." Suddenly I noticed that young girl fall down on the ground. So just as a human angle, I just supported her to get back. And I could realize in morning 10:30 time, this girl was fully drunk. And this is common menace in South African youth. In that situation where she is not able to stand on her own, she got up and put two thumbs up signs that you guys are doing great things and took out two local currency coins from her pocket and gave it to my daughter. She has preserved this as a souvenir of her first experience of how humanity exists in different forms in the world. And sir, as the press had actually bashed her badly before we started walk, they said this is not India. In India, every 5 to 6 kilometers there will be some village. Here, 20-25 kilometers there will be no village. Also in India, because there are farmers and all, people will support you. But here in this country, up to 25 kilometers there are no villages, so who will support you? And you guys are walking without money, so you guys are mad. And they put us so much scare that every day 57 murder happens in this country. Every day 1200 robbery happens. So why would you put your life to risk? So at first point we were also shocked. We didn't have a very clear answer, but we had some belief that if you are doing good, we will be taken care. So we were 6 people. We talked to each other and said what we should do. And we decided first 4 days we are going to walk into Johannesburg city. Johannesburg is like a big Bombay city. So I think by the time we complete city limit, it will be 4 days. And we'll see how society treats us in these 4 days. And we'll take a final call after that. But आप मानोगे नहीं साहब, उस 4 दिन में इतना लोगों का प्यार मिला, अनजान लोगों का प्यार मिला कि हमको ये बात सोचना ही नहीं पड़ा. एंड एज अ मैटर ऑफ फैक्ट अभी तक मेरे दिल के इतने नजदीक है. हमको 5 टाइम लोग लूटने को आए, गन लेके लोग लूटने को आए. एंड हमने बोला साहब हमारे पास कुछ नहीं है, हम इंडिया से आए हुए हैं, हम शांति भाईचारे का प्यार का बीज बोने को आए हुए हैं, इसीलिए हम चलते हैं. एंड ऑल द 5 टाइम these people left us realizing there is nothing to be taken from this guy. And as a matter of fact, 2 times it was so much humbling and touching heart. They dropped gun in our feet and said, "Can we walk with you?" Now, this was extremely humbling and touching experience when a guy who is robbing, we treat him as a robber. But if you understand the consequence, why he is forced to take this sort of action, is poverty. That country is, in terms of GDP, far richer than India. But unfortunate part, some people a local community has no money to even cover up their own bodies or fill their tummies. And especially it comes to when children, they have no choice than to take some weapon and try and rob somebody. So we have seen multiple angles of humanity and live in action. And only thing I can sum up, sir, that when we were returning back after 2 months of walk in South Africa, walking from Johannesburg, capital city where Gandhi and Mandela were in jail, same jail, of course, in a different time. We started
Yeah.
from there and we went up to Mandela's birthplace, which is called Vezo. 1,200 kilometers of walk in 60 days. And we had so many variety of experiences. We were told that police in that country is highly corrupt. So don't, in case you are robbed, I mean, maybe shed 2 tears, but don't go to police and walk forward. In that situation, we slept 3 nights in police station. Police was so extremely kind to provide us food and water also. We stayed in fire brigade. We stayed in we stayed in a jail where Gandhi was in jail. So we had some astonishing experiences. We stayed in Indian people home. We stayed into white people home. We stayed into local black people's home. We stayed into 5 star. We stayed into 7 star. I mean, all variety of experience we had in those 60 days was so much enriching that we could really feel the humanity angle, the oneness with all human beings. Yes, it is various social situations make them to do various roles in their life, but at heart to heart, I mean, every human being is wonderful creation of divine. Now, whether the divine you call him a Guru or whether you call him Allah, Buddha, Jesus Christ, it's all one. It's like I know I always say that my name is Yogesh. Mummy calls me a different name. My wife used to call me with different name. My friends used to call me with different name. So it's the same entity, but somebody says Allah, somebody says Buddha, somebody says Krishna. It's all same. And
Yeah.
feeling that in actual road has made me a very different person than those bad IT days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, One of the thoughts that is covering my mind right now. As people, we are touched by experiences of all kinds, even in daily life, in our work lives, in people who haven't had the varied kind of experiences you had. We find life teaches us a lot of lessons, and the more we incorporate them in our personality. So, if I'm very proud, I learn how to be humble because of some reason, or whatever. What are the changes that came in your personality, which earlier version of Yogesh Bhai had, and now you don't have, or you didn't have and now you have? Either way.
yeah, yeah, both the way. I mean, I was like a very angry and pushing person in a corporate life. You had own target and variety of pressures you had. Today, that point of view, I'm staying into a jungle here. I've built an ashram here, which is completely away from main city. This ashram is very small ashram built on the bank of Garade River, and will be completing on 31st 2 years here, and we have put lots of plants here with a desire to move on to Bapu's dream of Gram Swaraj here. Means you grow everything what you need. So we have reached 40% of our own food we are growing, food and vegetable, and we have still long way to go. But I have never thought about that I'll become like a farmer. I'll become like a compassionate human being. In spite of staying in jungle, I mean, we get so much love and care from people around. It is extremely difficult, but sometimes at night I cry. Why divine is so much kind to us? Somebody will come and bring some vegetable from his farm. Somebody will bring some fruits. In spite of today winter days, we take swim into river here. We cannot think of what we do here. Some days for 10 days, 12 days, we don't go to Pune city, but we are taken care by nature. In spite of completely jungle, last year when I walked to Pakistan, my daughter, who was with me in South Africa, today she's grown up to be 24-year old. But this young girl stays alone in jungle, and due to these experiences of life, the fear word has gone away. It's not in her dictionary. As a father, sometimes I feel she's staying completely alone in the jungle. Our mates support people will leave by 6 and they will come back morning 8 o'clock. Almost for 14 hours, she's completely alone. But she lives life fully. There is no form of fear in her mind. And every support, whatever you need to make your day-to-day living is taken care, provided by universe someday. So at some point, this also comes to me spot on the line. Human being supposed to be the smartest living being on this planet. But sometimes I feel is that right tag. Every living being, all the animals, birds, insects, they don't earn anything, but they are taken care by some universal energy. Only human being believes that money is the way I can make my living. But reality, साहब मेरा जीवन का यात्रा, if I say in one word, from a king who's earning multi-million dollar salary to today a fakir. But every need of mine is taken care. How it comes, sometimes I also wonder. But yes, and I would love to invite you to come and see our ashram. It is so simple, but it is so peace giving, and so much environment is peaceful. Everybody comes and says, "Hey, you guys, there is some miracle here. There is a lot of peace around." So whatever I'm doing, it cements my work and gives me back the satisfaction and confidence that yes, till the last breath, I'll continue to do whatever small thing I can do for society. And I have given my life to society. And through somebody, universe take care of me, take care of us completely. In this jungle, my mother is of 95, my daughter of 24, and me. Only three are permanent members.
Yeah. Uh, it's so inspiring. You're living your beliefs uh, fully and truly. A lot of people these days there is this trend that we keep sharing all these inspirational things on WhatsApp. Maybe your story also does the rounds. But to see the human being behind the story and to hear you speak about your experiences and your actual living your beliefs uh, is very humbling, honestly. One of the things that I want to ask you, I love the visual behind your back. Uh, Obviously, you're not the first person to use a visual like that, but there's a lot of peace in that visual itself when one sees that. You did mention that when you started, And even now, when you go to a new place, you start with one particular prayer followed by prayer of another religion and then another religion. Uh, how did this start? This prayers of all religions, and why? What prompted you? Was it planned, or is there any story behind it? How did that happen?
As a matter of fact, even today, this same prayer of all religions is played every day in Gandhi Ashram.
Oh,
So I picked up from Gandhi Ashram. It is 8 minute prayer over 8 religion prayers. So as I said earlier, it starts from Hinduism, then goes into Islam, then to Sikhism, then to Jainism, then to Yahudi, then to Buddhism, and finally closes with Christianity. So it's the 8 minute prayer over 8 religion, which covers almost 90% of humanity on this planet Earth. So nobody feels bad about, and I was so much touched and humbled as a part of my walk into Sri Lanka. In one of the mosques, I played this prayer. It's like in a mosque, typically what, I mean, mental platform you carry that you don't, do other religion prayer. But the people there were so much kind. He says, don't worry, Yogesh, pray that prayer. And it was a Friday, Juma ka din for them. 600 people stayed together to listen to all religion prayer. That's also like very humbling, very touching experience. So that's the way I start context of any meeting, and that sets even a tone of discussion in every meeting. So yes, I picked up this from Gandhi Ashram,
oh.
and Gandhi left us in 1948. But even today, this prayer happens every day morning, and I have picked up the same thing and put up little more professional singer uh, I mean, singing the prayers, and that I have put one single capsule of 8 minutes. And as a matter of fact, just talking on this prayer, and one of the guy had come with some friend. So I mean, many people come, so I didn't really very deeply bothered who is this guy. That guy came out to be Asia head of hospitality industry. So all the restaurants and hospitality industry was coming under him. He was deeply touched by this prayer. And he says, Yogesh, can you give me a copy of this prayer? I said, sure. I gave him. After about week or 10 days, he came. He says, Yogesh, do you have copyright of this? I said, boss, prayer का कोई copyright नहीं होता है. He says, नहीं, because I'm planning to play this into a 5-star kitchen. So I anyway did effort to talk to Gandhi Ashram, and the guy who had organized this thing, he says, prayer है, कोई नहीं है. But I said, can you give me yourself that I have done this and there is no copyright of this? I gave him to the gentleman, and he invited me after about a fortnight, 20 days. One of the kitchen who manufactures 25,000 meals every day and supplies to various corporate offices. And that kitchen, just the time of starting of their shift, we played this prayer. And as I understand today, this is about 5 month old story. Every day, even today, before every shift, they offer this prayer before they start the shift. And this has been copied into some 17 different places, into two 5-star hotels and two, kitchen which is of 5-star outsourcing services. And they all play this prayer before starting the shift. And one of the guy, uh, uh, Mr. Aluwalia, I assume from the name is Sikh, he has got this prayer into mild form 24 by 7. That prayer is playing 24 hours in his kitchen while the people are cooking. Normally, many elderly people don't eat outside. because there is a commercial angle of kitchen attached to that. So that commercial angle with this prayer become very sacred and very soothing. So this is way, you know, like universe is helping me to spread this in the society. So that was the context and background of where I got this prayer from and what I'm doing with this prayer. Now it is almost 12 years. Every day my morning starts with this prayer, evening starts with this prayer. So this is the most integral part of my life. I offer namaz twice a day. I offer Gurubani twice a day. So that's been indeed
Wonderful.
a
Uh, I would request you to send this prayer to me as well.
sure.
So, a couple of us friends cook for 100 people every week, every Saturday. It is one of the most joyful things that we do in our lives. Uh, I would want to check if everyone is okay with it, but at least we can listen to it once and get inspired because of the stories that you narrated. And the common ground that we have is food is a strong connector of people. We are all slaves to our hunger, uh, and good food makes people happy is something that we've realized over a period of time. So we'll try and see if it can get incorporated, or at least we can get inspired ourselves listening to this. This is one of the rare interviews where I am actually running out of questions in every question because your stories are so touching and experienced rather than being read from books. And we have a lot of holy books in this country and in this world, but very few people who actually go to the depth of understanding and make it as simple as you have luckily been able to. And uh, when uh, when our common friend Hemant sent this to me, I was unsure what kind of questions to ask. Uh, Now I am unsure uh, how to react to the answers that you're giving, because uh, these are stories that one grew up on. One really understood that the world was to be engaged with. Uh, you had to do your karma. You had to serve the world. You had to take care of your families. But here you integrated all these aspects so well, and what I like is the vulnerability shines through. You don't give a story which is like right away going to the end of the story and saying, "Look, this got done." So, oh, I had a problem beginning to walk. When I had to walk without money, I was not sure. When my brother-in-law asked me, I didn't have an answer. At no point are you saying I was 100% sure. You are discovering the assurance by your own experience, by your own, what I love to call dark night of the soul. But luckily, you have made it far more simpler. Say, I was there and I tried this, and then this happened. Um, my question is from this side of the world where people are engaging uh, with having to fulfill responsibilities. Um, there are a lot of people who will be coming and telling you, oh, I can't do what you're doing because it's too big a thing, and I can't make a ashram and stay in the jungle. I can't walk for this long. Uh, I have this to look after and that to look after, big business, or all kinds of responsibilities in the world. What would your message be to them, which they can practically follow and incorporate in their lives, even while doing what they are doing? So, if they are going to work, if they are running businesses, if they are housewives doing their household work, if there are women who are doing both kinds of work, or they are working women, how and what would your message be to people so that they can practically incorporate in their lives and make their own lives better? Forget making the world a better place. If they make their own lives better, I think they'll be contributing directly to the happiness of the world.
See, I mean, I have personally experienced in my upbringing right from childhood days. You know, my mother will cook. First roti will go to a cow. Second roti will go to a crow. A third roti will go to a dog. And fourth, some hungry guy will be given food. Then only we get our meal.
Oh,
Our right from upbringing, and if my memory is right, almost 52 years my father did this to feed all these poor community before we get our meal. And in younger days, it was not our understanding that, we are all connected. But I have seen right from very young childhood, right up to, almost grown up age up to 55, 60. This is the way our family was always did that. And we came from a very, I mean, middle class background. Typically, we had three brothers, one sister. So six of us used to stay in one bedroom hall. So, but at some point, the values what we had learned was that whatever you have, from that share with somebody, and you will be taken care. And that I've seen up till number of times, and especially now in this phase of life, it is our belief which is more challenging. If you surrender to divine in whichever form you believe in, and especially like I have been beneficiary of langar from various gurudwaras in all over the world. Very especially like irrespective of what religious belief you carry, every human being or every animal needs food. If you provide to him, I believe I am taken care. So I'm going ahead with that single belief, which I have seen in practically working, and that has given me. I mean, like it looks like sometimes myself a bit miracle. 753 days of walk across 8 countries, but not a single day I can remember where I had no meal. अभी तो पानी की बोतल का खर्चा नहीं होता है, कहाँ जहाँ भी जो पानी होता है पी लेता हूँ, और वो पानी से भी मुझे कभी तकलीफ हुई मुझे याद नहीं. Even like to see practical part of life, when you walk for 753 days, you are never fallen sick, which is not reality when you stay back home. हर कुछ 3-4 महीने कुछ ना कुछ छोटा मोटा कुछ होता है. अराउंड 35 किलोमीटर पर डे आप चलते हो, फिर भी एक दिन. एंड सी हाउ टू पुट इट वर्ड्स, आई डोंट नो, बट यू लाइक, भाई कभी बीमार नहीं पड़ा. बट पीपल हु आर वॉकिंग विथ मी, वो भी कभी बीमार नहीं पड़े. Isn't that some divine blessing are always with you? Now, how you believe and what name you want to give is up to you. So if you surrender, I mean, that's my personal experience, not necessarily like many people. Again, example of live example of South Africa. Morning day will start with 1 degree, 2 degree, and by 10:30, 11 up, it becomes 40 degree, and 10 to 2:30, it is extremely hot, 44, 45 degree temperature, very tough to walk. And then around 2:30, it becomes very windy, and by 3:30, it will start raining. Taken care in every situation. We went without prepared. People were kind enough to give us, you know, winter gear, right from cap to hand gloves to winter clothes by local people. And 41 degree temperature, practically you like to feel like removing your t-shirt and walking. So guys gave us a big 20-liter water bottle that you carry. Every half an hour, 1 hour, you need to take water. And at some point of time, in unknown country which we are going first time, somebody gave his car that now we are going to pass through like Himalayan hill area. So you're not able to walk with the luggage you are carrying. So carry our car. Next 10 days you're walking with this area, and then while on the way back, return your car back. I mean, it is simply difficult to believe, but that's what you come across everyday miracle. It is like 80% India I have walked. India is a huge country. And everywhere experience is so humbling. A guy in a small jhopri, he has only one roti, वो आधा roti देगा. So like this, my focus is more on connecting with humanity and serving people. That's how I also get served. Or maybe I don't know. My mother says all those good deeds my father did before he departed this world is paying you back. So I don't know what truth, but yes, this is the experience I'm sharing with you.
Thank you so much. What an enriching chat this has been. Very, very inspiring, touching. Uh, in spite of me losing you audio wise in many places, I think luckily the last two lines of what you were saying kind of completes the story. Um, and what an amazing story you had. May you be blessed. May your efforts bear fruit. May this world, which has people like you, prosper. May all the people in the entire universe, may all the beings in the entire universe benefit from our conversation and the merits that we are accruing from this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Let's stay connected. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.